So much for creating time to be with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Yes.
Salimia wa Kenya, even as they get to watch you, and even the many youth that you have transformed their lives.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Chepkemoi Magdalene. I'm the founder and the CEO of EldoHub. EldoHub is an organization based in Eldoret, but we've worked in over 40 counties across the country. And our main aim of existing is to work with young people, youth, as well as women between the ages of 18 to 35 to prepare them to benefit from the digital economy. You know, everything is currently going tech, and there's a lot of opportunities, workplace, and everything is being disrupted. And we believe that, you know, if we work with young people, we support them to benefit from these opportunities that the digital economy offers, we can actually create an impact for the young people, especially for the youth in marginalized areas, because currently we have programs in Turkana as well as Garissa counties. We are also introducing other programs in Busia County, Mandera, as well as also more parts of Uasin Gishu County, especially in rural and peri-urban centers.
I am curious because then there's been a difficult, or a difficulty in, access to, first of all, the internet, technology, basically, data, in these different parts. And we have seen the government committed through the ICT ministry to make sure that at least there's connectivity across the different parts of the country, but still remains a huge problem. And we had complaints left, right, and centers to that. How do you ensure that there's access to, technology, and what kind of technology then are we talking about?
Yeah, so I think the government of Kenya has really made a lot of progress in terms of infrastructure. From the time, there was, we only had Telcom, then Airtel came in, Safaricom and the others. But I think also government has really made a lot of progress in terms of ensuring that, there is a lot of connectivity. Like currently, I know Konza Technopolis is working on Jitume labs and also launching different internet connectivity across the country, which is helping a lot. But regardless, there is a lot of need in terms of ensuring that, we are able to support even marginalized areas to access the internet, and also how can we support them. I think there is also, it depends on the needs. Like for example, in some rural areas, some of them need more digital literacy, ensuring that, we are able to support them and we are able to enable them to continue also learning in this digital technology. Okay. Yeah, so like for example at EldoHub, we have really focused on 3 pillars that we are working with. One of them is skills development, digital skills development, where we support them and train them on the latest tools and technologies, from the hard tech I call, like for example, cybersecurity, data science and the rest, all the way to the soft tech, like maybe graphic design, digital marketing, social media strategy, and among other things. But apart from that, also we support them in terms of soft skills, those skills that are not necessarily tech, but are needed to grow one's career. Okay. That's our first pillar. Our second pillar is job creation. We realize that it is not just about training them, we also hope to transition them, because there are so many training institutions and organizations, even the academia, which is also kind of disconnected with the industry. So we help them in terms of transitioning them to the industry. And we have 2 approaches. One of them is skills to businesses, and the second one is skills for businesses, because we believe that, if we empower them through the skills that they have acquired, they can actually launch businesses. Like for example, in graphic design, you could actually launch a business out of it. If at the same time also you can use the skills that you have to actually help businesses who would like to digitize their business processes. And number 3 is business coaching and mentorship. Not everyone also would want to get employed. or maybe self-employed, people who also would want to build startups and build companies that could grow. So we have an acceleration and incubation programs that we work with, which one of our acceleration program is supported by the government of Kenya under the KIEP project, which is also supported by the World Bank project.
Okay.
And lastly, we also focus on digital transformation, because we realize that we support digitization of government as well as also private sector, we can create employment for the young people. Yeah.
Let's talk about the many years, well, not so many, that you have been in existence, and you traversing these different parts, marginalized areas for that matter. Sometimes, getting to experience youth that perhaps really are, are not so much so in the space of education and all that. Do you have notable success stories, so far? And what are some of the follow-up programs that you have to ensure that, well, of course, with the success stories, these are the follow-up programs to ensure that as well, they are doing it and doing it well? Sure.
I think, first of all, I need to give you my background, especially I grew up in the rural village. And while growing up in the rural village, I never imagined at some point I would be running a big organization. In
fact, I almost asked, well, how do you find yourself here? And this is tech for that matter.
Yes, and even being recognized both locally and internationally, I think it's something that, through inspiration, I got the inspiration, like, I could go back home, because when I graduated after high school, I came to, first of all, before even graduating, I remember I had to convince my parents and my relatives that I'm very passionate about computer science, which was quite a challenge because of lack of information. But eventually I ended up doing computer science and, excelling in it. And after clearing high school, I went to the, of course, after university, everyone comes to Nairobi to look for greener pastures. And I think that's where also another gap is. I think we need to create opportunities down there instead of always coming to Nairobi. So, from that story, I realized that, I need to go back home. I need to go and work with young people. I need to empower and create impact among the young people. I could be lucky that, I had a chance to come to Nairobi and, get all this connection. But there are so many young people who do not have, the kind of opportunities that I have. And I wanted to work with that young person. And especially the marginalized one, those young people in Elgeyo Marakwet, for example, those young people, youth and women who are really struggling, and they really need the support that we offer at Eldohub. That's the young person that I wanted to really work with. And there's been a lot of opportunities. Like, for example, during 2020, we launched a program called professional digital apprenticeship for young people. Because we realized that, at that time, everyone had closed business, businesses were no longer working, they would no longer go to their jobs and, continue running their businesses as they would like to. Also, the young people that used to come to our center could no longer come to our center, and that challenge that was happening. So we went back to the business and asked them, what were your challenges? And we got to know their needs. Some of them wanted to build e-commerce platforms, some of them wanted to build a digital marketing. Most of them just wanted to continue running their businesses, and they were looking for ways in which technology can be able to help them. So we went back to the young people that we had trained, and vetted them, supported them, did pre-apprenticeship, oriented them, and made sure that they were able to deliver on the assignment that the businesses were looking at. So we work with 40 businesses, 40 young people, and at the end of the 3 months that we were piloting the apprenticeship program, 36 of them got employed.
How easy is it to tweak the mindset? And I'm glad that you speak of such success stories. Because when you say there's always this mentality which is so rigid, and most of the people will always think of how they're going to be done with school and proceed to the urban areas in search for greener pastures. So how do you tweak their mentality to understand that there are opportunities even back at home? And just how much is devolution contributing to making sure that these spaces are in existence for the people in rural areas?
Sure. I think, yeah, like you mentioned, devolution. Devolution made it a bit easier in terms of, you know, creating opportunities. Now everyone knows, you know, I don't need to come to Nairobi. I can still work in Uasin Gishu County. Yeah. I can still create opportunities in Uasin Gishu County. You know, Turkana County, there are so many opportunities that exist even for young people, even creating it for themselves. So as far as the mindset, I think mindset is where it starts. I always say that because we need to really empower young people to think differently. I was in another forum and there was a question which was asked: Are we ready? What is the government doing to help us, you know, leverage on technology and all that? And I was like, you know, are you yourself ready? Are you ready as a young person that, you know, because, you know, technology, you know, everyone in Kenya, we know that the statistics, we have access to the smartphones, we have access to internet, you know, even, you know, my grandmother still uses M-Pesa, and, you know, I don't think they have enough skills to understand about technology. But, you know, with that, you know, there's something that we could do, and it all starts with the mindset, you know, understanding that, you know, what are the opportunities. It also starts with how do I skill myself? How do I ensure that, you know, I have the right skill to be able to benefit from any opportunity? And, you know, technology keeps changing. It's dynamic. Yeah. By the time, you know, AI, we are used to AI, maybe something else would have come. So, you know, as a young person, you need to skill very fast and to be relevant.
Of that's very important. Speaking of which, then one would want to understand, how would you rate the absorption levels, you know, across the different, say, counties or marginalized areas that you've worked? Would you say that Eldoret, of course, they accept it faster and better? The numbers are different in Marsabit. How would you say? How would you rate it?
Yeah, of course, if you compare Marsabit, if you compare Turkana, Garissa, of course, Eldoret is a bit more have access to some of these technologies, and even, you know, other counties, like for example Nairobi and Uasin Gishu. When I went to Uasin Gishu, there are some things that I could easily, like, you know, I could send an email and that's it, just inviting people. But then when I moved to Uasin Gishu, I realized that, you know, there is a culture that, you know, you have to deliver a paper. Yes, and several other places, some of the things that I've also realized. But then things have changed. I think it's because of maybe globalization, the access to this internet, you know, things have changed, and I think people are starting to embrace. I think there need to be more awareness and more education to support, you know, young people to really understand, and especially what you mentioned, to change the mindset. I think it all begins with the mindset. If we change the young people's mindset to start even thinking about, you know, starting startups, you know, running and starting startups, to change the mindset that I usually say, even going from just don't misquote me, but Mama Mboga mindset.
Right.
You know, we need to start thinking about not just businesses to live, or maybe to eat or to get food for that day, or maybe to get to you know, so that you don't sleep hungry, or maybe you get to pay your rent or something like that. But then we need to also think about building high impact companies and growing even beyond the Duka kind of mindset, and even think about building organizations that could employ as many young people as possible. And one of the things that we are focusing on is ensuring that, you know, we help young people to start and grow businesses by leveraging on technology.
Beautiful. You speak about education. How well do you suppose this is inculcated, you know, in the basic education levels? For instance, we have TVETs across. Do you suppose that there's more that needs to be done so that this is well inculcated, then of course for the students to as well absorb and adopt?
Yes, absolutely. Especially the TVET institutions. I think, you know, we are more, you know, as technology also, of course, continue to grow, I think there is need for more hands-on kind of training, more training around experiential learning, because we are used to a system where it's more theoretical, and sometimes we imagine things. I remember when I graduated from the university, and when I went to the industry, things were totally different. I got terms that I was not used, because I was not used to because we are used to a theoretical kind of training. So having a training where it is experiential learning, where you know industry, as well as also the academic institution could collaborate so that, you know, as they train the young people, they also understand what the industry wants.
Right.
I think that will really change how we look at things in Kenya, and even that mindset that the young people really need.
All right. 3 things before we close.
Yeah.
Number one, of course, you know, perhaps you telling the people who are watching tonight just how best, and you know, those ones that are in Eldoret and the different parts that you're in, how best they can reach out so that they can get assistance and, you know, again, march into this very important program. But of importance, what are some of the other challenges that are notable, and how best can we address them, not just at the level of Eldo Hub, but across the different parts of the country? And of course, you speak of collaboration. How best do we collaborate? You collaborate to ensure that then this is, you know, well inculcated across, and, you know, policies are formed for the betterment of the numerous technological programs across.
Yeah, I think we need to, first of all, let me start with the policy issue.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we have a lot of policies that we don't implement, but I think there is need for more policies that could support young people, ensure that, especially a startup. I think there is a startup bill which is currently being debated. I think it's at the National Assembly at the moment. I think if we allow young people to experiment more, and, you know, give them that enabling environment, and even put in a lot of resources. Because, you know, when you are starting a startup, for example, it's an experiment. You don't know, it can either work or not work. But every time someone starts a startup, is, you know, the government is like, you know, you need to pay taxes and all that. Maybe tax holidays, maybe giving young people opportunities and resources. Sometimes some are capital intensive, for example. And if you give them an opportunity to experiment and even give them the support, like if they fail, what happens, you know, we need to celebrate them, you know, for the fact that they've started the startups, and ensure that, you know, we are giving and creating an enabling environment for the young people.
Right.
As far as where we are found, we are based in Eldoret. That's our headquarters, but we also have a team in Nairobi. We also have programs in Turkana, as well as also Garissa, and also we are very much accessible. So in Eldoret, we are based in Eastern Avenue, and that's where you can find us. You can email us at info@eldohub.co.ke. You can also call us. We have a number that's operational 24 hours, which is 011 269 32. That's where we can be found. And we can be able to support you in terms of training, in terms of ensuring that, you know, you are well prepared in this world of digital, digitization and the global village. And we start from young people. We have basic education for young people to help them. You know, these young people are competing with, you know, with people who started coding at the age of 8.
Right.
So we try to create opportunities for them from 8 years. We have out of high school, and we teach you from scratch. But also we have also all the other programs that I had already mentioned about.
Beautiful.
And we also have a program that we are running. It's called a Tech Run. We realize that, you know, Uasin Gishu County is an athletic, and sports is something that we are more we are good at, and we have a culture, marathon culture. You know, marathon culture entails we need endurance, we need resilience, and all that. How can we translate that culture and those values to helping young people to change the mindset that we've talked about? To think about, you know, to change that mindset, because building a business or starting something also requires that resilience, you know, requires that endurance and all that. So we have started a program called Tech Run for Eldoret City Investors Forum, where we are encouraging the local athletes, the innovators, and, you know, building an ecosystem where young people can be supported. At the same time, also bringing in more investors to come and see the good things that we've done. And we will do it on the 1st of December. We'll start with a Tech Run, which will be a build-up for the 2nd December Investors Forum.
Beautiful, beautiful, great thing that you are doing. And I know, of course, we cannot get to exhaust everything, but you need to reach out. The world is moving very fast. You cannot afford to be left behind. And here is an opportunity for you and for the people, of course, that you would invite as your friends. Thank you so much, HSC Magdalene Chepkemoi, for traveling all the way to be here and gracing our set with this great news. We certainly wish you nothing but the best. And of course, we keep saying, viva to Girl Power. It was great having you on Her Say, and as well looking forward to have more and more engagements. And you back at home, thank you so much for the immense feedback. Reach out and get that help, get to learn so much about technology and transform your life. My name is Linda Alela. I look forward to see you again on Saturday. Asante sana. Equally, we appreciate our sign language interpreter, Rhoda Nyamai, on the other end. Do have yourself a lovely Saturday night. Bye-bye.